the state of Maine has its birthday coming up, its 200th birthday on March 15th, 2020. And this is really a great opportunity for us to think a little bit more about the long history of the state and what we share in this common experience of a long period of Maine statehood. Maine had a long relationship with the colony of Massachusetts. Starting in the 1650s, they were connected to one another, not geographically, but politically and administratively. And that long relationship began to be seriously questioned starting in the 1780s. So right after the American Revolution, some prominent politicians, particularly in the Portland area, began to say, hey, maybe it would make sense if Maine were separate from Massachusetts. And so a series of votes are approved by the Massachusetts legislature starting in 1792, but it takes 6 different votes until July 1819 before there is a clear popular commitment in what was then the District of Maine to create itself as a new state. So it's a long period, it takes decades, and I think this is kind of confusing to people because from our point of view today, particularly those of us who live in Maine, we're familiar with the idea of some animosity toward people from that distant part of Massachusetts, and it seems natural and obvious to us that Maine would become a state. But this was clearly not the case. It took a long time. It took a number of different, very contested votes. And so I think the best way to think about the Maine statehood process, if we want to understand it from the point of view of people at the time, is to make a parallel to Brexit today. Right? Brexit is controversial. It's unclear what its implications will be. And so I think the question of Maine statehood, should it become independent and separate from Massachusetts, was more controversial in its time than is easy for us to recognize looking back from 2019. Right. The University of Maine has organized a major conference that'll be held May 30th to June 1st, 2019. That'll be on our campus in Orono. It's entirely open to the public. It's a 3-day event, which is maybe more than the general person wants to take on, but we have some of our highlighted events are free and open to the public for no charge whatsoever, and it includes musical performances, scholarly presentations, and also a really neat opportunity for students at all grade levels and local cultural organizations to present their plans about the Bicentennial.